You got me running, shake it, shake it, shake it, feel that. Raise your hands up, raise them up.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Forex Trading Asia Daily Currency Call. This is episode, give me a minute. Yeah, this is episode 354. This is the 13th of August, 11 a.m. here right now, GMT +8. And yeah, this is the currency call where you get market economic updates, key support resistance levels, trade ideas, and more. This currency call is going to be very beneficial to both the long-term investors and short-term traders. Here we'll be going through what could move prices, possible trade ideas, and also highlighting potential targets and risk. So a disclaimer here, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speakers. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Okay, so let's get into the charts straight away with Scott Andrews here from Forex Briefcase Australia, where he will share a bit about the dollar index. Scott.
All right. Hi, everyone, and happy Friday. And thanks for joining us as well. So look, US dollar index, and we did see, really a lack of, dramatically strong news. And again, the price action has been, once it attempted to get through 93.18 and thereabouts, it just looks like that CPI miss, even though it's still high, was especially that month-on-month figure. And I mentioned this in the morning update that I put out for the EcoFin and private forum members in the Traders Club. And, just having a look at the situation, it just seems that the Fed sort of was saying, look, this is probably what's going to be the situation. And it sort of fell into, that particular figure where it was actually slightly under month-on-month. And that's really what the Fed are paying attention to. Now, for last night, we did have the PPI come out, and I'll just quickly touch upon that. So that the PPI month-on-month for July was at 1%, beating expectations at 0.6. And the initial jobless claims came in at exactly expected as well. So, what if this is a weekly figure? So something to watch as well is just, it's been not getting to expectations, so it's slowly creeping down. So the lower that number, the better, because obviously if there's a lot of demand for employment, then less people are going to be making those initial jobless claims. So that's something to watch. And then core PPI month on month was 1%, so it did beat expectations. It just looks like that there are still some increases in pricing as well, but I think the focus, to be honest, for more, higher conviction plays will be what is mentioned at the Jackson Hole Symposium. And Jin wrote a good article on Forex Trading Asia as well about it. If you check it out on Forex Trading Asia, it really made mention to that's going to be a key point that people are looking out for, because the meeting is notorious for mention of things that have not been talked about properly, or they've just been brushed aside. So watch Jerome Powell, see what he says. For now, I would say it's a bit unclear. What's driving things is the US equities market is just been running. And it feels like it's running on fumes. If you have a look at the price action, it's really fatigued. So if that starts pulling back tonight, we could see some US dollar strength, but it's going to be very tough to see a big move. So if you're holding positions, for example, I'm Euro USD short, I'm just going to continue holding that. But if you're looking to get into a trade, I would say wait for this week to close and then see how things open up again. But my thoughts are, for now, the US dollar will be sideways until we see a change with the Fed or any dramatic news events for next week. But for now, I'm staying on the sidelines with the US dollar trade ideas.
All right, thanks for that, Scott. And yeah, today it's Friday and the currency focus is Canadian dollar and cryptocurrencies. And I'm going to get Daniel here, trading coach at LCMS Traders, to share more about that. Daniel.
Hey, thanks, Jinwei. Okay, so while we look at US for CAD news coming in, let's look at the calendar, right? So looking at the calendar, I mean, we all know what happened, the CPI data, recent PPI data coming in, inflation. Today, nothing much coming in for Canadian dollar. Of course, I mentioned today, 10 o'clock, we have the US consumer sentiments at 81.2 forecast, same as previous 81.2 as well. So I don't think there will be much of an impact for this consumer sentiments coming in. Then let's look at next week. I mean, let's look at next week, see what could possibly be happening. Okay, we have the GDP coming in for the yen. We'll talk about it more next week. We have where is that? Okay, we have this manufacturing sales here. Although this one, it seems to be good. Looking at it, it seems to be manufacturing sales are picking up, but it doesn't really impact too much on the Canadian dollar coming in. Let's roll down. There's Europe GDP number could be a possible mover there as well. Housing starts for Canadian, you can see it drops, but doesn't really have a big impact coming in. Of course, for those trading US CAD, will come in at core retail sales coming at 0.1%. We're meeting of previous of 1.3%. So it's a dip down. Nevertheless, it's like we have seen that the CPI data inflation did dip not per expectation. So more or less, because this could be calculated as 0.1%, which if it beats this number, it could strengthen the US dollar, which is here. Okay, and you can see it's on the Tuesday, right? But what I'm interested in is the not this one here. Let's go all the way down on the Canadian dollar on the Thursday, I believe, is the CPI data. Okay, this CPI data will be month on month will be the interesting one we're looking at for Canadian dollar. Okay, looking at previous at 0.3%. I mean, Canadian they are quite bullish in their recovery. They're following. I think they're after New Zealand, then followed by Canadian, who are all very bullish in their recovery. So we have to watch out for this. If indeed inflation is beating 0.3%, moving. Pushing up and telling us that the recovery is doing well, and so that is something we need to take a look. Or you can look at CPI data 0.3, forecast of 0.4. Look at that, they are forecasting better than previous month. So again, something to tell us that if this could be looking at from now to maybe next week, Thursday, we're looking at a slow improvements of price coming in to strengthening of the Canadian dollar. Okay, now while I said that on the economic news, we also know that CAD is also quite correlated to the oil prices here. So let's look at the charts right now. Okay, so when we look at the charts now, okay, if you look at the charts right now here, US CAD is not moving much. I mean, there was movements due to the CPI data, but you can see right now here it's more or less consolidated really closely here, right in the middle of my support and resistance zone. Maybe I zoom it in further out. You can see it's right now here in between. Doesn't really tell us a momentum, just like what Scott has mentioned about the US index here. Looking at the price of US dollar, it doesn't really move too much. And one of the things is because yes, the US isn't moving too well. But we look at oil prices, the WTI prices as well. Right now, it is although there is a slight recovery of the CAD. Of the oil prices, correlated to Canadian dollar, but however, you can see it's not really moving. It's moving around 68 area. This dollar, $68 here, and there's a little possibility of looking at if the economy recovery is not doing well. COVID-19 is impacting the US and the big Australia, these kind of countries, and China. The demand for oil may not be there strongly there, and it could have a slight drop towards maybe oil price towards 65 level zone, the support resistance support zone again as well, and that this could probably be impacting the US CAD. Okay, so now what we'll be looking at is probably for now, if the oil prices indeed going to this today to next Thursday, if oil prices did drop, and there's not much of a US news coming in, there could be a possibility of this moving upwards, slightly upwards. No, I don't think it'll hit the resistance of the 1.2631 for US CAD. It's slightly moving up because of the movement of the oil prices. But however, with the inflation data coming in, there could be a movement from next week. So maybe let me do this, zoom it out. To be more exact, I think that we could be slow moving upward, either horizontally or slight moving upwards here before a strong CPI data for Canadian, and then it drops back down and goes back down towards maybe quite close to the support zone, maybe at this level here at 1.240. Okay, this level here. So what I think what we'll do is, if you can look at the price going up, it goes up. Maybe I do it this way here. Okay, because I was looking at maybe it move out the previous high here, and then if it drops below, what it comes back down below 1.2540, which is here, this level here, it breaks below 2540. Let me put the line here right now. Okay, change it to color. 1.2450, 2540. Sorry, 2540 here. Okay, change it to orange perhaps. Okay, once it drops back down here, then you'll be looking at a good, nice, strong CPI data. You can look for 40 pips take profit, stop loss for a good 100 pips of take profit target. So 100 to 40 pips stop loss, 100 pips take profit if it breaks below 1.2540. So be patient for that setup to be happening. Now, the other one I'm looking at is CAD yen, very closely correlated to oil prices, and you can see really very nice. Where you remember I showed you WTI slowly moving upwards here, and then now seems to be moving downwards, very closely related to CAD yen. Now, waiting for a possible lack of demand for oil, and again, this was given ahead a setup already for trade setup of if it breaks below 88, come bouncing off the resistance, break below the 88.00 level, we could be looking for quite a nice trade here, probably for 40 pips take for stop loss. And if at the first round, you can see at 40 pips here to make a decision whether or not to exit or to continue to hold. And you can go even to all the way to 120 pips if the demand shows that it's not strong, oil demand is not strong at all. So just continue to monitor, and that I have for CAD. Now today is Friday, so we'll be talking about crypto as well. Okay, so let's look at crypto currencies. Now, really very nice. We were talking about it last week, Friday, that most likely crypto, Bitcoin seems to be quite bullish. The bearish sentiments, it seems to be over. I mean, I say seems because we can never be sure. But you look at it, it did move up towards the 45,000 range, and I said that hey, once it hits the 45,000 range, and if in, and that is what has happened. Right now, we are going to wait, right? Because right now it's testing. Let me zoom in here. This on daily chart. It is testing the 45,000 level range right now. I'm hoping for a very strong, waiting for perhaps the weekend, or next week, starting of next week, where there's a strong movement outwards for the Bitcoin. Okay, a big bullish candle pushing upwards, then yes, we will continue. I think we will continue on. I was very bullish that it goes to 56,000 level range. But bear in mind, there is a key level that you need to take a look. Okay, and this level is the round number of 50,000. Everybody is talking about this. So for the first round, if it breaks above very strongly up, you could be quite. I think you could be saying that I have this trade idea that if any breaks strongly above the 45,000 range, very strong bullish candle, it will move towards the 50,000 range. The question now is moving above towards 56,000 range. That is a question we need to monitor. But if the strong bullish movement continues again over the weekend and next week, we will probably be very nicely hitting the 50,000 range, and then we can make a decision from there. Okay, so that because of the strong bullish we can see from the Bitcoin, the big brother, Ether has been doing as well. Really very nice. I plotted here. It says, you see, it follows the line. Well, coincidentally, but really very nice. It goes up all the way quite close to the resistance of 3,300 level. Now, 3,300 level, again, you can see similar to Bitcoin here. You can see this bearish candle. I believe that is a profit taking right now. A lot of people, institutional who goes in, will be doing some profit taking coming in, and now it seems to be some bounce off a recovery. So what I'm looking at is probably not today. Probably it will move across, and then we'll be waiting patiently to break above the 3,300 resistance level, which I've been talking about it for very long now. With that, if that goes, then there is a possibility. I think probably for the whole of next week, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, it could be slowly, if this is going through the institution investors could, after profit taking, could be looking, if it breaks above the 3,300 resistance, could be looking to again pumping in the ether, going in and pushing all the way up to possible 4,150 level. So just watch out for that, because for ether, there's a lot of news coming in, like the ether London 2.0, where they start to burn the ether coins. That's one, and then there's also usage for a lot of different use applications and usage for like Fugal tokens, for where they sell, very nice pictures out in the digital world. Okay, so now it's something that we look forward to. So be patient. I think it's going to sit across almost some form of slow recovery before it breaks above the 3,300 level range and towards the 4,150. So that is what I have for you today for the Canadian dollar and crypto, guys.
All right, thanks for that, Daniel. And I'm going to get Tim Hong here right now. He's going to share a recent article that he shared in Forex Trading Asia. Tim Hong.
Thank you, JW. Bullish on Canadian dollar. I totally agree with what Daniel has just shared with you guys earlier today. Okay, so the trade idea that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is this: CAD francs. Okay, Canadian job market close to full recovery. If you guys have not yet signed up for an account in Forex Trading Asia, do so after the call. Okay, and just vote articles that you find that they are good. Give reasonable votings, of course. Okay, and then you'll get points, and then with the points, you'll be able to redeem for Amazon Amazon vouchers. Okay, so CAD francs. This trade idea was, I published it on July 12th. That was like 1 month ago. That's the demise of, having to trade longer term, time frames, okay? Sometimes your trade idea will not take place. Sometimes your trade idea will trigger and things like that, okay? So this trade idea triggered yesterday. Now, let me just go through why this trade idea, the motivation behind this trade idea, okay? So it was actually, I think it was a Monday that I fired out this trade idea, okay? And the previous Friday, there was the Canadian employment jobs report, okay? They actually reported 230,000 jobs, which is very strong, okay? And of course, with the strong jobs report, we are actually looking at a stronger Canadian dollar, okay? Then shortly after, I think 2 days after, so at that time, I actually highlighted that 2 days after there will be the Bank of Canada monetary policy decision. It was widely speculated that, I would say widely expected that the Bank of Canada will be carrying out further tapering, okay? Which was why I was actually very motivated to send out this trade idea, okay? CAD francs, against the safe haven francs. So until the release of the monetary policy statement by the Bank of Canada, CAD francs was just bouncing around the 0.37 handle, okay, which is a handle that I would pay attention to because it hasn't been, the last time it was trading below was let me just go straight to the chart, all right, so you can see the price, the date clearer. The last time it was trading below 0.73 was back in March, okay? Then ever since then, it has been like bouncing off, testing to break below, but to no avail, okay? So this was the period of time where, the Bank of Canada was about to release their monetary policy decision. So, as expected, they actually carry out a tapering, okay, from 3 billion to 2 billion, okay, per week of quantitative easing. So with that, it actually builds on the bullishness of Canadian dollar, okay, my view, and of course the market's view, all right? So, okay, however, because of oil prices and things like that, things didn't look well, all right? It actually, CAD francs actually went down. Like what Daniel mentioned earlier, there's a correlation between the Canadian dollar and oil prices, okay? If oil prices were to go up, that will indirectly strengthen the Canadian dollar, vice versa, okay? So, there was some, OPEC, uncertainty about their meetings and things like that, about the production quota hikes and things like that, okay, which led to the weakening of Canadian dollar. Market participants actually flee to safe haven currencies like the francs, which is why you see, the Canadian dollar actually weaken against the francs. And he actually, for a short period of time, I would say maybe like half a month or so, broke below the 0.73 handle, okay? But then it eventually climbs up, okay, due to the the certainty given by the OPEC in terms of the oil production quota, okay? So it actually comes back up. And yesterday, okay, this trade actually triggered. So there was, I actually sent out a notification on the Traders Club, okay, Facebook group and the ECOFIN on the triggering of this trade idea at 0.738 buy. So as of now, it's still hovering around that level. Okay, personally, I feel that it will go higher. So I have actually set a stop loss at 120 pips and a TP of 120 pips. From here, we'll see how it goes. Now, remember that there's this whole, I think on Wednesday or yesterday, I actually shared that the White House actually, call out on OPEC Plus to increase their oil production. Okay, now if the OPEC Plus were to actually respond to it sooner than the next meeting, their meeting in September, then that may actually cause some price movement in oil, okay, which will definitely cause some movement in the Canadian dollar. Okay, nonetheless, we'll see how it goes. Next Friday, I think, yeah, it was next Friday that there'll be the Canadian CPI data release, right? So any updates and things like that, I will just keep you guys, let you guys know on ECOFIN and Facebook group. If you guys are not if you are from TradingView and things like that, or Telegram group, you might want to consider joining the Traders Club, because you get notifications and things like that, and other resources that will help you in your trading. Okay, yeah. So that's the end of my sharing. With that, I will hand it back to Junwei.
All right, thank you so much, Wim Hong. And yeah, I have pasted the links in the chat for the Traders Club. If you want more analysis updates from Wim Hong and the LCMS Traders team here, do sign up for that. And yeah, we have come to the end of the session today. We will see you guys on Monday for the Aussie and Kiwi. Yep, see you guys on Monday. Goodbye.